Johannesburg, South Africa, a hub of business and economic activity and gateway to the fast-growing economies of Africa. The city built on gold is also home to one of the country's oldest and most respected business schools. For more than 50 years, Wits Business School has equipped thousands of graduates with the skills they need to start and scale sustainable businesses, drive global organizations, and grow economies. Renowned for its teaching excellence, WBS is part of Wits University, ranked one of the leading research universities in Africa and among the top 300 universities in the world.
Wits Business School is proud of its heritage and legacy. But in a fast-changing world, there is no room to rest on one's laurels. That is why we are constantly spearheading new areas of research in line with a developing continent and in an era of disruptive technologies.
I think what Wits Business School taught me through the MBA was organizational development, finance. Surprisingly, finance wasn't a subject in those days in the accounting profession. And just how you deal with people, how you build a business, looking at multiple case studies and getting to know and understand what worked and what didn't work.
The school has become a recognized thought leader in areas such as digital business, entrepreneurship and innovation, energy leadership, and African philanthropy and social investment.
At Wits Business School, we believe very strongly in the value of collaboration and teamwork, the power of learning from each other, and of course, from our world-class faculty who bring their knowledge and expertise from all parts of the continent.
What I love about Wits Business School is its connectedness to the broader business community, as is evident in our growing alumni network. For me, it's been a wonderful experience made even richer by the lifelong friends and business partners I've made through WBS.
Our strong ties with the business community means that Wits Business School is a center for robust debate and dialogue. Our regular public lectures and panel discussions tackle issues facing our country, continent, and world. A school that strives to create conscious, forward-thinking leaders so that Africa can reach her potential. Wits Business School, sculpting global leaders.
Good evening, colleagues and friends, and welcome to this launch of the new and bespoke MBA in the field of healthcare leadership program. My name is Midupi Lamola. I'm the Marketing and Communication Manager at the Wits Business School. We are excited to have you here this evening to bear witness to this momentous launch. Wits Business School was founded some 55 years ago, and it's the graduate school of business administration for the University of Witwatersrand, a highly ranked African research institution. Today, we are glad to have you here, and we want to share with you the new offering in the MBA portfolio that we have. I have to make a few announcements before we can kickstart. We are recording this session, and we will make it available to you sometime next week. And for this session to run smooth, colleagues, I'm going to ask that we do the following. Firstly, we mute our microphones and we switch off our videos, our video function on our devices. During the presentation, you can put your questions in the comment section or the chat section, and my colleagues who are present in this meeting will respond to them. We will also post a link to the website where you can download our brochure for this new course. For more information, you can visit our website, www.wbs.ac.za. The program that we have for you today, I will call upon our head and director of the school, Professor Maurice Kharebe, to give a welcome. Thereafter, he will be followed by the academic director, Professor Logan Rangasemi, to give a program overview. And then Dr. Pino Mavengere, the academic lead, will dissect the program and explain its structure. And then we'll give back again to Professor Logan Rangasemi to give a program delivery. Thereafter, we'll invite our academic programs manager, Mr. Melusi Mtembu, who will take us through the application process. And we will respond to the questions that have been posted on the chat. Without any further delay, colleagues, I'd like to hand over to the Head and Director of Wits Business School, Professor Maurice Radebe. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Medupi. Thank you very much, team, for organizing this whole event. I'd like to welcome all the people that are here right now. It's my great pleasure to welcome you as a head and the director of Wits Business School. My name is Maurice Radebe. This morning, I was on SABC and I was asked a question, why are we doing this program? And I gave two, what I would call official reasons why we're doing it. What I didn't talk about is the personal reason why this MBA is closer to my heart, the MBA Healthcare. I'll tell a little bit of story which happened many, many years ago, 37 years ago. At the time, I had my firstborn girl. She was 3 months old, and she's grown up now to a young lady. At that time, she was 3 months old. She had an epileptic fit. It was 10 o'clock at night, and I was staying in Katlehong, as many of you would know that I grew up in Katlehong. And that was a very, very scary situation. Here's a 3 months old fitting quite violently. Decided we try to help and try to do what we can. We realized now we're going to rush to the hospital. Got into the car. I drove at a breaknecking speed to what was known then as an adult Spruit hospital. And it's currently no longer there. Those that are coming from Katlehong would know it very well. I was there in a shortest space of time to drive in. Then I drive in, I go into the administration section of the hospital, and I was screaming, obviously, says, please attend to my baby. My baby is feeding, is busy with epileptic seizures. And you know, the lady at the admin's office started saying, call me by, in a Zulu, Puti, please come and register first your name, your address, where you come. I said, please, I can do that later. Can you attend to my baby? He said, no, we'll not attend to your baby until you've actually completed all the forms that we need to do. I was hysterical, but I completed the form because the baby is feeding. And then we finally rushed through into the emergency section. No doctor was there. The nurse is asking for the doctor. And then finally, the lady superintendent, who was very, very strong lady, cuts in asking, where's the doctor? The doctor was not there. And it was the time the doctor were called by the bips, and they called them. Finally, he comes, and it was extremely late by the time he came. And then the superintendent, the matron, actually, not the superintendent, the matron, started screaming at the doctor, and there was a big fight taking place. Where were you at? And I realized, whoa, if I don't take a move now, my daughter is going to lose her life. And they were fighting. And I decided, listen, it's a time to move. And I simply said, took my daughter, and I dashed out back into the car. And they were saying, it's trying to stop me, and says, you're refusing treatment. I said, yes. They say, sign here. I signed it very quickly. Back into the car, drove from Katlehong to Morningside Clinic. As I drove into Morningside Clinic, they were already waiting for us. They basically took the baby, injected the baby with Valium, stopped the epileptic seizure within a few minutes. And then after that, they asked me to go and complete the forms, registration forms. Why am I telling this story? I'm telling this story because it's a reason why we're having this program. The program is about the unbelievable inadequacies and inefficiencies and lack of management skills that we see in our public sector. And it is also underfunded. and it is also rigged with poor management, poor leadership. Whilst on the one side in South Africa, we've got a very good private sector that is well managed, well funded, and it's operating extremely well. That's the reason, on a personal level, I support this project. Were it not been able, if my daughter obviously is still alive here, but I can tell you that many lost their lives and are still doing today, and we need to do something urgently. And that is what we are doing here today. So the healthcare sector in South Africa faces many challenges, some of which were exposed during the COVID pandemic. Our healthcare system is highly unequal. We have a vast and underfunded public sector, an exorbitantly expensive private sector. How do we ensure fair, equal, and access to healthcare for all our people? There are no easy solutions to this problem. But one thing we're sure of, the sector needs skilled leaders who are motivated to help shape the future of healthcare in South Africa. Wits Business School has always been in the forefront, at the forefront of business education, and today we are proud to unveil a program that not only meets the needs of a modern healthcare industry, but sets a standard for leadership in this vital sector. The MBA-Healthcare Leadership Program is a testament to our commitment to excellence, innovation, and the development of future leaders. With a curriculum meticulously crafted by industry experts, this program promises to equip our students with the skills, knowledge, mindset required to navigate the complexities of healthcare leadership. Today, you will get an in-depth look at our program structure, its unique offerings, and the unparalleled opportunities it presents. I invite you to listen, engage, discover why our MBA Healthcare Leadership is a gold standard for healthcare leadership education. Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Let's embark on this enlightening journey together. I now hand over to my colleague, Professor Logan and Dr. Pino, who are going to give you details of this program. Thank you very much. Over to you, Logan.
Yeah, no, thank you, Maurice. I want to say a hearty welcome to everyone. We are very excited about the launch of this program. And we're also a bit overwhelmed by the interest that we've got from various individuals across South Africa in this program. So a very big welcome to you. I want to start off by essentially saying up front that this program is not only directed at professionals in the public sector, it is also meant for individuals that are involved in the private sector, as well as individuals that are involved in private practices. We think the skills that you will get in this program here will also be, fairly useful for those of you who run your own private practice. And we've had numerous, colleagues who've trained at WBS in health sciences who have expressed interest in this program, running their own private practices. So we think we have the program, for you. I think there are three questions that probably many of you have thought about. Three questions that are relevant of this session. The first thing is that why do an MBA? The second thing is that why do an MBA that's focused in healthcare leadership? And then probably the third question is why do this MBA with the Wits Business School? So what I want to do is quickly address these three questions and then hand over to Pino, who will give you a little bit more detail in terms of some of the issues related to the program that we're gonna roll out. The first one is, why do an MBA? Is there any use for an MBA? There's been a lot of debate about whether an MBA is worthwhile to do, etc. But just a couple of things. The first thing to bear in mind that the MBA is a professional degree. It has a practical orientation and it addresses real-world program. It has a strong business focus and enhances one's understanding of business practices and development. It provides you with leadership and management skills, which enhances one's ability to engage in strategic thinking to address the change that is happening around us. And finally, I think career prospects. The MBA, advances one's career. It allows one to expand your network and then gives you the skill set, which hopefully will lead to career, advancements in either, whether you're involved in private practice, in hospitals, in Medicare, or in the public sector. So having said that, why should one then deal or do an MBA in healthcare? Firstly, if you are a professional who is in the healthcare sector and who plans to be in the healthcare sector, then I think the MBA, in health leadership is the program for you. We know that the healthcare sector has particular and unique challenges and constraints, and the MBA in healthcare leadership specifically focuses on addressing these particular challenges and constraints. The next thing is that it will assist you in developing leadership and management skill, which will enhance one's skill set to address the particular leadership and management challenges that are particular to the healthcare sector. And finally, we have a number of policy changes that are currently taking place in healthcare or in the healthcare sector, both globally as well as domestically. And we think that the skills that you will get from this program will be of particular relevance to addressing some of these challenges that are currently being addressed in the healthcare sector. And in this regards, I'm referring to the issue of universal health coverage, which is strongly advocated by the World Health Organization, which has found expression in the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 3, which advocates for the promotion of good health and well-being. And even domestically, we have the national health, NHI, the National Health Insurance, which is now going to be rolled out, which will have particular implications for those that are involved in the healthcare sector, whether you're in the public sector, whether you're in the private sector, or whether you are running your individual practices. So I think all these factors and all these developments here provide, the incentives for those individuals that are in the healthcare sector and who are wishing to remain there to do the MBA in health leadership. Next slide, please, Pino. So having said that, why should you consider doing the Wits MBA health leadership? I think there are a number of reasons. The first one is the reputation of Wits and WBS in particular. We covered this a little bit in our insert. There we've got some leading champions of industry having gone through the Wits Business School. Wits University, 20% of all all A-rated researchers in South Africa are based at Wits. In fact, 11% of all rated researchers in South Africa are at Wits. 4 Nobel laureates, the list goes on, and you can get all the information on the Wits website. The faculty that we will be using to deliver this program will be world-class. We will be engaging with faculty across Wits University, across the other schools, as well as the expert faculty within WBS. We have also lined up some international faculty at some of the leading international universities to assist in the delivery of this program. And we will also be using experts in both the private sector as well as the public sector to deliver some of the program. Then the other unique aspect of our program is the cohort experience. Individuals that will eventually gain admission into this program will be from the healthcare sector. You would have to have the requisite experience having worked in the healthcare sector. We will not be taking individuals into this program who have been in manufacturing or even in finance, etc. And we think by having a cohort from the healthcare sector specifically will enhance the learning experience, and we'll talk a little bit about this as we go along. Then the second or the last point that I'd like to raise, and this is something that the head of school mentioned earlier on, we have developed a cutting-edge curriculum on this program. It's taken a year and a half, and with engagements across, experts at Wits, also an engagement with the authorities and also leading international experts. And we believe we've developed a cutting-edge MBA program that's fully focused on healthcare. What you would find is that some of our competitors will also offer you an MBA in healthcare leadership, or a master's in healthcare leadership, but essentially their program offerings will draw on some of the core courses that they offer in the MBA program and core courses or in the master's program, and they would then offer 3 or 4 electives in healthcare to offer the specialization in healthcare leadership. Our program, on the other hand, is fully focused on healthcare leadership. So every module that you do will be based on healthcare leadership. You won't be doing economics, micro and macro. You will be dealing with healthcare economics, strategy with a particular focus in healthcare leadership. All our case studies, etc., will be focused, on cases in the health sector. The second point is that we've got 5 themes that underpin our program. The first one is the context. We'll be focusing on the challenges and the problems that are in South Africa and Africa. And we'll also take cognizance of global developments. We will get experts from the World Health Organization, etc., to also deliver master classes and also engage in some of our program or module offering. Then there'll also be a focus on strategic leadership, healthcare management. We would give particular attention to managing change, and the healthcare sector is going through a lot of change, and the whole issue of digital transformation and how this is going to impact, or how this is impacting the healthcare sector will be given particular attention, in our program. And we will be drawing on, as I mentioned, experts within Wits, experts within South Africa or outside Wits, and also drawing on leading international experts to come in and deliver, particular aspects within our program offering. And then the last issue relates to CPD points, which I'm sure many of you in this session would be particularly interested in. We are currently in the process of registering our different modules with the relevant authorities, and we can give you the assurance that whether you are a medical officer, or whether you are from the nursing profession, or whether you are in pharmacology, etc., we will have the necessary CPD points for you once you engage, in this program. So that's at a very high level, the introduction to the program. I'm now going to hand over to Pino, who's going to be the lead academic or the program director on this program. Pino, I'm going to ask you just to introduce yourself very, very, quickly, 30 seconds or something. You can put some feathers in your cap, not too many, because we don't want you to fly away, right? So I'm going to hand over to you, and then he's going to give you a little bit more detail on the specific elements in our program offering. Pino, over to you.
Thanks, Prof. I'm humbled. Thanks. I'm privileged to talk after Prof. Maurice Kadebe and Prof. Logan. We have really set the pace for what we are going to present. And in terms of my experience, well, for the past 2 decades or more, I've been involved in the healthcare sector, from public sector into private practice, and also have gone into the finance side of healthcare in the industry, and I also work for Treasury. And so I've worked on both sides of the sectors, the private and public, and also in between with NGOs. So I'm very happy to be associated with this program, and I thank the school for the privilege to present it to you now. So without much ado, I'll go into the almost like the nuts and bolts of the program. So the MBA in healthcare leadership is really composed of 3 components that's locked together like if we're building a puzzle. The puzzles fit together nicely and they form the picture. So we've got core courses, 12 core courses, which are compulsory, you have to do. And then we have independent state courses, 2 of them. And then at the end of it, you also have elective courses where you've got a choice to choose what studies you want to engage in for you to have a wholesome, understanding leadership of your choice. So in terms of the program, this is really the graphic that summarizes the courses it were. Let's go in detail into the core courses and then the independent courses and the elective courses to shed some light on how these are really built around healthcare leadership. First, in the courses is strategic leadership in healthcare. The credits are 10 per course, so I'll just not repeat that again, except marketing research, which has got about 15. I'll come to it when I get there. But when we start with strategic leadership, it's a deep dive into the strategic planning, which is supported by transformational leadership, where you will learn to navigate the evolving landscape of healthcare and ensure that you are ready for the future. Things like value-based paradigm, which we are having right now, value-based care, the challenges of epidemics, you'll be able to deal with it. Second subject is also global trends in healthcare. Well, the world is changing, and you'll be able to engage with the contemporary healthcare management trends from a global perspective to leverage case studies which are going to be presented local, international, and regional, and also to look at cutting-edge technologies that are revolutionizing healthcare delivery. And as a leader, be able to use them to their optimum capability. And then also health economics is very important, isn't it? In this case, you'll be able to dive into the intricate economic underpinnings of the healthcare system and understand the dynamics that drive the sector. Things like the medical aids, drug pricing, labs, hospitals, private practice, and the multifaceted demands for healthcare services that is there. There is a supply and demand of healthcare service which is complex, and health economics will help you to thoroughly understand this and incorporate into your leadership. We live in a digital age, so health has become a digital enterprise. So you couldn't do this without going to the digital enterprise management in healthcare. You equip yourself with the skills to navigate the rapid technological shifts that are happening in the healthcare business. You'll be able to integrate the digital solutions that are coming up, meet the unique challenges in the health sector, and look at how you can implement these to solve opportunities in the healthcare so that we can have successful programs in healthcare. It wouldn't be a master's without research, isn't it? We want to master the research methods and ethics that allow us to go into the healthcare industry and look at what works, what doesn't work. So you gain comprehensive insights into the ethical research process itself and master both quantitative and qualitative tools which can drive impactful research projects in the healthcare domain that can make us or help us to make meaningful decisions that benefits the population. And strategic marketing branding for healthcare organizations is also very important. Here you learn to embrace the full spectrum of marketing and branding, crafting impactful strategies that address modern approaches and challenges in marketing, such as social media, the dynamics there, and how you can market, how the market commoditization can be enhanced to elevate healthcare brand presence. So healthcare has a marketing side, which we need to master as leaders for us to lead our organizations and our peoples to a successful environment. We look at the next 6 courses as well, the modules. Evolving healthcare law and policy module is very important. As you know, health is mad or deep synced in ethics and law. So we have to stay afresh or afront of the healthcare sector by understanding and analyzing the ever-changing landscape of healthcare laws, policies, and ethical consideration. If we think about it now, the rise of technologies like AI is throwing us deep into the ethical issues which we have to solve. Our leaders have got to be able to solve those issues in the healthcare sector. We're also going to look at the exciting subject of entrepreneurship in healthcare. Entrepreneurship, as you know, is really being able to use innovation to harvest opportunities that are usually there where there's a dynamic environment like we have in healthcare. So we want to cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset, both in the public and private sector, where the leaders will acquire the skills to innovate, to start or manage healthcare ventures from private practices on one side, facilities, to partnerships, both in the private and public sector, to drive organizational growth. It's going to be an exciting journey in this entrepreneurship in healthcare module. Then we have strategic management of the health value chain. We have to manage that value chain for value to come out at the end of that pipeline. So you learn how to enhance the operational efficiency by focusing on quality, on productivity, and create and support robust supply chains to ensure that there's optimal service delivery in healthcare, both in public and private sectors. We have seen there are challenges in this regard, but we would like to craft leaders who can help us solve those problems. Then managerial account for decision-making in healthcare helps us to address the financial side of things. We want the students to harness the power of accounting as a pivotal tool for communication, to be able to undertake resource allocation efficiently and be involved in strategic decision-making tailored to the unique and financial landscape we find ourselves in healthcare that are asked for understanding financial principles. You don't have to be an accountant, but as a leader, one needs to understand those financial principles so that we can manage the enterprise quite well. It's all about change at the end of the day. As you sail down this rapid river, the white waters of healthcare, you need to manage the change. So strategies for leading change in the healthcare is a very appropriate module where you will learn transformative changes with a toolkit of leadership strategies, focusing on motivating teams, addressing team dynamics, and integrating technology to reshape healthcare delivery system, especially now when we know that technology itself is affecting how we formulate our teams in the healthcare sector. And as leaders, we want leaders who can address that and lead us forward. There will be no leaders if there's no organization. So organizational design and development and behavior in healthcare is very important. And this will be undertaken to help the students to deepen their understanding of organizational structures and designs to effectively implement changes and developments to adapt to the evolving healthcare context. So change and design of the organization is paramount, and we have to have people who are adept in doing this. So that is what we have. We go to the next part, which is to look at the independent study section, as we said. This has got two courses. One is leadership quest in healthcare, which is quite significant in terms of credits. It's got 20 credits. Here we're looking at the self. You cannot lead if you don't understand yourself. So through research, workshops, and coaching, you craft a personal development plan that embodies ethical and professional conduct, that embodies service excellence and commitments to continuous improvement and lifelong learning. You have to know yourself to lead others. So it's a very, very essential part of the program and spans the whole stay of your studies at Wits. It's not done in one module, but it's spread over the life of the program so that we can have leaders who understand themselves very well. Similarly, we've got applied research in healthcare leadership as part of independent study, where you got 25 credits allocated to you when you undertake supervised projects tailored to a contemporary area of interest in healthcare leadership. This can manifest itself in various forms. It could be a business venture, a new business venture, a consultancy, social entrepreneurship, or even conventional research, like in the normal research usually underdone in master's program. The choice will be yours. But these two programs are tailor-made to last throughout the program and develop strong leaders who know themselves and can apply the research they've undertaken. Then, when choice are the elective courses. The elective courses come in two formats. We've got elective modules where out of 8 modules, you can choose 2. So there is choice here to really go after what you like most. And the subjects where you can choose, we've got healthcare in the society, healthcare information management, data analytics and artificial intelligence, healthcare systems and policy, managing talent in the healthcare organizations, organizational design, development and behavior, as we have said, and also foreign electives A and B. We're going to go deeper into those sections. But let's talk about the global tour, which is interesting. It's got 20 credits. You have an international study exchange you can undertake, and it's equivalent to 2 electives. Here, there are 3 things. It's a focused tour where you take a deep dive into global healthcare issues or practices by visiting leading healthcare organizations in the world. We partner with business schools and you partake in a masterclass or short courses in the healthcare leadership domain with well-selected business schools. It includes intentional learning, where you have got a clear focus for your study exchange. This could be part of your applied research, which I've just spoken about, or part of your leadership quest. That is the integration we're talking about, or the locking or dovetailing of these programs we're talking about, so that there's a continuum that's going on. And then, of course, we need a portfolio of evidence. You create a comprehensive portfolio of evidence to showcase your experiences, but also demonstrate the depths of your learning and developing during the tour. So that is a bit of a deep dive on global study tours. But let's look at the elective modules, which we spoke about. Elective courses contribute 20 credits, and your choice is any two of the following subjects, some which are taught within the school, some involve going to foreign business schools which have been engaged with by the Wits Business School, or otherwise the global tour. So let's go into that. Healthcare in Society is a course where you explore the historical roots of health, understanding the social cultural impacts of well-being, and engaging in contemporary public health debates. As we know, there are social determinants of health. We need to understand those and say, how do they affect health? Our leaders need to do that. Information management in healthcare is very important. We want to see how we can harness technology and information systems to streamline our operations on one side, to automate where we can, and also have statistical insights for informed healthcare decisions, or what we usually call evidence-based decisions. Our decision should be based on information. We have the tools now for us to be able to do that. We want our leaders to be able to do that. And then the exciting world of health data analytics and artificial intelligence, where we can dive into the transformative potential of data analytics and artificial intelligence. As we know, it can be very useful in addressing healthcare's pressing challenges and optimize our service delivery. But as we know, it comes with other challenges too. And the leaders should be able to engage with such technologies to make sure that we optimize them for us to be able to lead our organizations through the dynamic world of healthcare and produce solutions that work. We need to be expert in healthcare systems and policies as well. So a choice could be made to engage in a comprehensive analysis of healthcare policy development, how healthcare is financed, and also to look at system evaluations to see which systems work, with a focus on current challenges like, of course, HIV program, which is very important in the country and in the both public and private sector. But think of COVID, how we were actually asked to, in a very quick way, find solutions to a pandemic which had set upon us. That demands well-trained or well-equipped leadership, and that's what this program is going to do. We want to be able to manage the talent in the healthcare organization for us to maximize it, to prioritize talent management as a strategic differentiator, mastering the art of acquiring, engaging, and nurturing talent in healthcare setting. And again, with the digital transformation upon us, we need to be able to have healthcare workers, healthcare organizations that can embrace technology and use it to drive us forward, to solve the problems which are ever changing. It's a very dynamic situation, and it calls for adaptability. And that is what we want to do. So these courses will be offered, and there will be a choice to take one or two of these courses over time within the university of the business school. However, as we said, you can also opt to have a foreign elective in two foreign electives, where you customize your learning by selecting a subject in collaboration with our esteemed international partners. These are well selected, the program is well managed, but by the way, you don't have necessarily to go. They might have an online program, for example. You can still do it from here, but you'll be working with international, well-chosen organizations where you can undertake your foreign elective. So you can have both electives, or you can take them in partnership with the other subjects, as we have said above. Then finally, the global study tour, we spoke about it, 20 credits it commands, where you go into an exchange, where it's a focused tour with intentional learning, as we said, and with a portfolio of evidence which has to be produced, and then at the end of the program. So these subjects we have covered now very quickly, though just as headliners, they actually dovetail together to give this unique program, which is purpose-made to provide leadership in the healthcare, especially in the current environment we find ourselves in. I would like then to hand over to Prof to again give us some more information or summarize the program. Logan.
Yes, no, thanks, Pino. I thought you gave a very, very nice, in-depth analysis of all the different modules. So this is what Pino actually spoke to. This is a summary of basically what he's highlighted. Can we move over to the next slide, Pino, in the interest of time, please? The next slide. Yeah, so what I want to talk now is I've seen a number of questions. We've tried to answer all the questions on the chat, but there have been a few that has, spoken about the format, how we're going to deliver part-time, full-time, etc. So what I want to do here is spend a little bit of time speaking about how we plan to deliver these programs. The first thing to bear in mind is that the way we've actually structured this program is that we've designed this specifically for working professionals. So what we have done here is that this program will be delivered both through synchronous as well as asynchronous engagement, and we'll use blended learning as the tool of delivery. So what we've done here is we're going to roll out this program from March next year. Hopefully, we would finish all the modules and complete everything in this program by October, November of 2025, so that all students on this program will graduate in the December graduation of 2025. Each block, right, comprises 8 weeks, with the last week, being a break in each block. In each block, we will attempt to deliver we will deliver at least 2 modules in each of those blocks. And these will be delivered in terms of in-person contact sessions during the first weekend. So what we would require is in the first weekend, the Friday evening, say from around about 6 o'clock to 8 or 9 o'clock, we would want all the students to come in, and then on Saturday and Sunday. So those will be the contact sessions that we will deliver in each block, right? So the first weekend in each block, we would have contact sessions where we'll identify the dots, try and align the dots. And thereafter, during weeks 2 to 7, we will then do online lectures. We'll have syndicate and individual tasks that we will deliver during weeks 2 to 7. Each of those weeks in 2 to 7, we expect on average of about 6 weeks of engagements with you. We will spread those over, 2 hourly sessions over 3 days in the week. And these will usually be done, 7 or 6, 6 o'clock, in the evening. We will read those engagement, or we'll have those agreements with the classes once we've identified the students that we'll take onto the program. Then the last thing is that all our assessments on this program will be done either online or face-to-face when students, will be on campus. So what we are saying is that we will engage with you face-to-face during the first weekend in each block, Friday evenings, allowing individuals to travel from different parts of the country. Classes will either start at 6 or 7 for 3 hours on the Friday, and then we will have a full Saturday session from early morning, 8 o'clock to probably 3 or 4 o'clock on a Saturday. And then we will do the same on a Sunday, maybe finishing off a little bit earlier on for those individuals who have to move back to different provinces. And then during weeks 2 to 7, we will have online engagements with you, online lectures, syndicate, and individual tasks. And then I mentioned the point about assessment. The big problem that we find on our MBA program relates to the research component of the MBA program. We've given specific attention to this issue in the way we've set up this program. The first thing is that this is going to be, the research component in here is going to be highly focused on a practical problem or a practical issue pertaining to the healthcare sector, either in the public sector, or either in your individual practice or whatever. It'll be practically focused. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we are going to integrate this research program some aspects of this will be integrated into the research methodology course. So what you will find is that very early on, even during your first year of study, you will be forced to engage with your research project, looking at a research proposal outline, looking at some of the ethical issues that may be related to your research topic, which in many instances would be the case here. So we want to engage with all those aspects fairly early on, in this program. And then the last thing I want to say here is that in terms of the workload on this MBA, it's going to be intense, right? It's going to be involved, and we find many individuals dropping out of our MBA program because they find it very intense. We've structured this for working professionals. We think while it will require serious commitment on your part, we think all in all it is manageable, right there. We can engage a little bit more in terms of practicalities and other issues once we've decided on the court, and we'll call a meeting together for those individuals who we will accept onto our 2024 court to discuss more issues, or to discuss more specific issues in detail. I'm now going to ask Melusi to talk through the admission requirements and procedures, and thereafter we will try and engage in responding to some of your questions that you put on the chat. Melusi?
Thanks, Prof. Dr. Bino, if you can go to my slide, please. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited, to be part of this platform. Really, a platform where, yet again, the Wits Business School, they are really groundbreakers in terms of, being in the industry leaders in specific fields. So I'm really, really excited, and I really want to give everybody a warm welcome to this session. So my task is a very easy one, just to give a high-level guidance in terms of really the application process. Okay, so colleagues, at the moment, applications are open. They opened on the 2nd of October, and they will close on the 31st of January. So please take note of those dates. In terms of the process, applications should be launched. They are online applications which can be launched using the link that we provided. However, from our marketing department, as well as our admissions office, we will provide everybody who's attended this session with this particular link to go and apply. Now, what is important then in terms of just, some of the items in the application process? Number one, when you apply, you will be required to pay a minimal fee of 200 rands when you apply. So not too much, money that's going to burn your pocket. But as you then proceed with your application, once you've lodged your application, because this is a degree program, therefore we need to do the necessary checks and balances insofar as, eligibility, qualifications. You will be required to submit certified copies, not older than 3 months, of all your tertiary qualifications. And let me impress on this, ladies and gentlemen, all your tertiary qualifications. So in other words, if you submit your CV as per point 4 there, and in your CV you indicate that you have a degree in a digital business or whatever the case could be, the university then will kindly ask that you submit the qualifications for the degrees that you have mentioned. So you mention it, you provide us with the certified degree certificates for that, as well as the academic transcripts. Now, one point that I must, sort of touch on insofar as academic transcripts are concerned, and this is just based on my experience. Academic transcripts, it's really your full history of study at whatever academic institution. Do not submit a statement of courses past because you want to hide that when you were still young, you were dropping modules and failing modules. The university literally wants the full record. However, we will then note from your CV that since then, you've really, become a better student. But please note that it must be certified degree certificates or certificate, as well as certified academic transcripts. Then obviously, in terms of the school having a sense of your background, we will require that you upload a CV. And then you will also be required as part of the application process to upload a one-page motivation letter, which will then detail reasons as to why you wish to pursue the program. Then once you have done all of the above, and the school has reviewed your academic records, they've reviewed your CV, they've reviewed your one-page motivation letter, and the school believes this is the kind of candidate that we are looking for, the school will shortlist you for a test. This is a mandatory test as part of our MBA accreditation. So when you get shortlisted for a test, you will get that notification. And what will subsequently happen is that anybody who's been shortlisted for a test and they've done the test and then they've pretty much concluded that, that's when then we will probably close it off with an interview, and then if you are eligible, we could accept you. So it's important just to keep in mind the kind of process that's going to happen. Post the application process, at a stage at which you are sitting with an offer letter from the Wits Business School, you will then be required to pay a 15,000 minimum deposit, which will secure your spot on the program. But the 15,000, it's something that you pay after you have gone through the application process and you have been accepted. Now, probably there are, candidates who studied at universities outside South Africa. So for all those foreign qualifications, it is a statutory requirement in the country that there must be a SAQA certificate. So anybody who studied, outside the country, please make sure that if you wish to pursue this program and you wish to apply and you don't have that SAQA certificate as yet, you do that quite quickly, because I know that there's a bit of a delay as well at SAQA. So please do that. And then when you do then go on the link to apply, there's just a few key things that you must just take note of in some of the drop-down, menus, which are important. The first one, you will see this as you navigate on the portal. There will be a section that speaks to the academic calendar. The academic calendar, really, in the university, there's different calendars. There's a January intake, there's an April intake, July intake, September intake. Insofar as this program is concerned, you will have noted that the program starts in March. So in terms of the closest calendar that we could use in the university, we called it an April intake. So don't get confused when you apply and see a drop-down that says April when classes are starting in March. You will be at the right place. Please select the April one. And then, because in the school, we do have a general MBA, and now this new one, the one in the field of healthcare leadership, there should be a differentiator. So when you do apply and you want to select this particular program, please ensure that you select the program that is healthcare leadership, because you don't want to confuse it with a general MBA. So as you apply, just make sure that you do select the correct MBA. And then in terms of this program, as we are launching it, and as we are looking at the number of people that have joined us here, we are hoping that we're going to have a lot of applicants. But a lot of applicants then means that there's high demand, but then the supply is a bit limited. So this means spaces will be limited. So as such, I would encourage the candidates that have joined today that please apply on time. Do not wait until the 31st of January to apply, because as soon as you apply and you've submitted everything, the school will make a decision and you will have your offer and you can pay your 15,000. But please just make sure that you follow everything. The school is available. The email that you're going to get after this session will give you details of people that can assist you should you encounter challenges in the application process. Thank you, Prof. Logan and Dr. Pino.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Malusi. I think just to emphasize the last point, we've got limited spaces on this program. So while we will leave the applications up until the 31st of January next year, we will basically close all offers after we've reached, our numbers. So the idea here is, as Melusi has emphasized, if you are interested in this program, please apply immediately. We will process it, urgently and get back to you as soon as possible so that you can then make the necessary, arrangement. I should point out here as well, we've taken a lot of time to try and tailor this, as I mentioned earlier on, for professionals working in the healthcare sector. We're giving you time off between blocks. We've also looked at, 3 and 4 weeks during the Christmas holiday there. So while we're saying, it's intense, we've tried to be as accommodating as we can without compromising, on the academic integrity and the academic content. We also find that the way we're going to roll out this program, because we're going to be doing this, after hours, etc., we have lined up some leading academics in the US. Time zones are really not going to matter, and they will also assist us in the delivery, of some of these programs. So all in all, we're pretty excited with both the format, and we think we have something that could be mutually beneficial for the way we deliver and the way, you can, come in and engage with us. I think we've addressed all the issues on the chat. Is there anything that you want to raise from the chat that we may not have answered? I tried to answer all the questions there.
Nothing in particular, Prof. But maybe if I've noted something on the chat about the difference between this program and the normal MBA. If maybe you can just emphasize that difference for people to understand, as well as another question that came from an anonymous person who was asking about, will international students be required to attend during the weekends, or can they attend virtually? Those two, I think they are the ones that are standing out for me.
Okay, yeah. So I did address both those questions. So the first one is the general MBA and the healthcare, or the MBA in health leadership. As we mentioned, that all the modules have a specific focus on the health sector. So that's the big difference, right? So while all the modules address the same, are same in terms of the core modules in both the programs, the healthcare leadership MBA focuses specifically on case studies in the health sector, and it has a specific health sector focus. So the question then is, and there was one question there, if I've done the MBA in healthcare, would it be useful for me to do the MBA in health leadership? My answer there would be, come in and have a chat with Pino and myself. We will talk a little bit more in terms of how we've distinguished this health leadership from the MBA, and then you can sort of make up your mind. And please do that urgently, so you don't lose out on a potential spot. So the other one was on international students. I should mention upfront, the intention of the school is to actually roll this program out somewhere down the line across the continent. We've had, business schools, partner business schools from, other parts of the continent wanting to engage with us. That's the intention, over the medium to long term, could be over the next, 3 to 5 years. But at this stage, this program here is going to be rolled out along the lines that I pointed out. We want all the students to come in the first weekend. So unfortunately, we will not allow for an hybrid delivery during the first weekend. We want you to come in because we think that the networking, the peer-to-peer learning, and the face-to-face, contact is important, and we can then engage online on other elements. We found this to be particularly a significant issue on our MBA program, and we had, many students complaining that the online delivery, because of COVID, etc., we were forced to go fully online. They didn't really, receive the benefits that they were hoping to, and there's no substitute for face-to-face contact. So we're hoping at least that 2.5 or maybe that 2 days and 3 hours, on the Friday allows us for opportunities to engage a little bit more face to face. Yeah, Medupi, I don't know whether there's anything else. There was questions about individuals involved in internship and comm service. I got a daughter who is now finishing off a comm service there as well, and also wants to engage in these kinds of things. My advice here would be is that we need work experience, finish off your comm service, engage more fully in your responsibilities as a MO, etc., and then consider doing the MBA healthcare. What we are looking for here is individuals with at least 4 years of experience in the health leadership sector, because what we are hoping here is to have peer-to-peer learning as well in syndicate group discussions. So we're looking at least 4 years of work experience. I can give you, the stats for our MBA, our general MBA. While we say 4 years, I think the average experience is somewhere between 8 and 9 years of, the individuals that get accepted onto the program. So we find that, there is a large number of individuals who have the requisite experience to actually engage, more fully in terms of syndicate discussions, etc. There were questions related to when we say people in healthcare sector, does it exclude me who's involved in healthcare, education, etc. While we're saying, in the healthcare sector, that is the technical definition we're giving. But if you're involved in healthcare leadership, etc., we will also consider that to be someone that, has been, close to the coalface, so to speak. So you are well acquainted with, the challenges and problems and difficulties in the healthcare sector. So we would consider those types of individuals to also be individuals that are working in the health leadership or the healthcare sector. The issue of bursaries, unfortunately, at this stage, we don't have any bursaries that are available, but I should also say that we have strong support, right, from the authorities in terms of the endorsement for this program. We have some corporates as well who are pretty excited about this program. We've engaged with them, but we are hoping that as we sort of go on, that there may be bursaries that would be available. So for those of you who don't have funding, we would advise you to engage with your employers, look at the CETAs, engage with the relevant health authorities, be they the provincial health authorities or the national health authorities, to see whether the fundings could be available from the CETAs. So I think those are the issues. Pino, do you want to raise any other points that I may not have raised?
No, I think you've covered the questions that were asked in the Q&A. And as you said, we're dedicated to taking any questions thereafter by email, by WhatsApp. We'll address the issues. Thanks.
Sure. I'm going to ask Lerato. I think I've just noticed the time. We've gone 5 minutes over. Lerato, can you put your video on? And I want you to give your email contact details on the system. Lerato is going to be the program manager for this program. If you've got any questions, queries, or anything else that you want to engage us with that we may not have addressed here, please drop Lerato an email and we'll come back to you ASAP on that. Lerato, we promise 24 hours response to all emails, right?
Definitely, Prof.
Yes, good stuff. Okay, Maurice, I don't know whether you are still here. Do you want to close and have the last words? And yeah, and let me hand over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the entire team that has put this whole information session, particularly those that are backing us, like Chaitan, administrative staff, Tembeka, Lerato, Lucy. We're really thankful for the backup support that you're giving us. Thank you very much, everyone who's been here and has listened very carefully. And I'm actually surprised that so many people are still hanging in this session, even after 7 minutes. So we apologize for running late, but thank you very much. Again, all what we want to say is that we want to contribute to building our capacity of our healthcare system to navigate the very difficult challenges we're facing in the healthcare sector post-COVID, as well as the introduction of possibly the NHI. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong. Be blessed.